Molly, Republican South Dakota Senator Mike Rounds introduced a bill this week to eliminate the Department of Education. This after President-elect Trump nominated Linda McMahon to lead the department. Now, in a statement to Fox Digital, Rounds said this: the federal Department of Education has never educated a single student, and it's long past time to end this bureaucratic department that causes more harm than good. So for more, let's bring in now the president of Parents Defending Education, Nicole Neily. Nicole, thanks for being here. Let's start with your take on McMahon as the nominee.
I'm delighted with her. I think she's a smart businesswoman. She has the full trust of the president, and she knows how to deliver value to customers. And what I think is so exciting is that she and President Trump actually know that families are the customers in this situation, not teachers unions and not education progressive activists who have run rampant spending all this federal money hand over fist for decades.
You know, you talk about that money, by the way, because we looked it up. We can show our viewers. You're talking about nearly $250 billion, $238 billion that they allocate. And so when you hear the calls from Senator Rounds to dismantle DOE, what's your reaction? What are your thoughts? What's that look like?
I mean, let's look at what actual proficiency levels in America have been since the Department of Education's creation in the 1980s. We have seen proficiency levels drop across the board. Children know less. They're not safe. And so the idea of actually restoring much more of this control to the state level, where people actually have skin in the game, where you have to see your state legislator, you have to see your school board members and say, why'd you spend money on this? Why are our children not able to read or write? I mean, you know, things like that, federal bureaucrats in Washington don't care about. They want to go to cocktail parties here. They want to be reelected. They don't actually care about our children.
Breaking down this big financial role, I mean, the Department of Education's primary role seems to be one that's financial. And you're saying that, you know, the dismantling of the department under the Trump administration, under Secretary McMahon, might just be redistributing those responsibilities? Yeah,
about 7% of public school funding across the country at the K-12 level comes from the federal government. But that's money it's our tax dollars to start with. So it comes to Washington, skimmed off the top, and then it's sent out to states or districts with lots of strings attached. We've seen them give out money to incentivize schools to have gender sexuality alliance clubs, to have school-based health centers that are pushing things like intrusive mental health surveys, even in some districts like Seattle Public Schools, providing hormones to children under the age of 18. And so things like that, I don't want those strings attached. I want people who actually care about our children being held accountable for that and being up for election.
Now, the NEA, the National Education Association, does not like this pick. Here's what they said. We can put it on the screen here. McMahon's only mission is to eliminate the Department of Education and take away taxpayer dollars from public schools where 90% of students and 95% of students with disabilities learn, and give them to unaccountable and discriminatory private schools. Do they have it wrong?
They have it so wrong. And honestly, anything that makes Randy Weingarten upset, to me, is a sign that you're moving in the right direction. This is someone who worked for years to keep our schools closed, to inject horrible discriminatory programs and curriculum into our schools. Someone like that should not be within 1,000 feet of a school, much less directing and having direct access to our Secretary of Education.
Let's talk a little bit about one of the things that we may see McMahon try and do, assuming she gets confirmed, is to pick up where Betsy DeVos, Trump's first education secretary, made strides on the issue of school choice. Where does that stand, and where do you hope to see it go?
Linda McMahon has been a strong champion of career and technical education for a long time. She knows that a one-size-fits-all education is not what's right for everybody. She's a mother herself. She's a business owner. You know, our economy needs lots of people with lots of different skill sets. And what the public school system has been doing is it's been producing a lot of people who are coming out with equal outcomes, which means the people who are smartest, they're being held back. We're watching public schools get rid of gifted and talented programs because it's making some people feel bad. And so the idea of having more choice, of allowing families to pick something that fits a specific child's needs, is so important and really shows that she gets what American families want.
All right, let's talk about the simplest of questions, but it's kind of perplexing, which is if you put a education secretary in the main job of dismantling your department, then what becomes of her and really what that entire department would be?
Again, I think her business background is so suited for this. You look at people who, when they inherit a company and they know that they have to unwind it, that's distressed assets, whatever. She has that kind of experience, and so she knows she has an objective to get to. In the meantime, you're not just going to walk in and shut the light off. There's going to be an orderly unwinding of programs, moving things over to the Treasury Department or the Department of Justice. But it's someone who knows how to make sure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, because as a business owner, you don't want to be sued. You don't want to be in litigation for a long time. And so I think if anybody's going to be able to do it, she's up for the task, and she's great.
Nicole, we're out of time, but just in the last 10 seconds, my last question for you was, are you concerned that this could hurt teachers, the most important people on the front lines, or will it help them?
We see teachers union leaders selling out their members on a regular basis at their annual conferences every year. They vote on abortion. They vote on Ukraine. They vote about everything except student quality and keeping their teachers safe. And so if anything, getting the middleman out and having this be a relationship between teachers, families, and state officials, I think is a much healthier relationship.
Nicole Neily, thanks for being here. Have a great weekend and a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.